everyone, it's Christine from Christine's Stamping Spot. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Alberta, Canada. Thank you for joining me today on my Mystery Monday video halfway through the month of September. Hard to believe, but I know we were out briefly on the weekend and a lot of the trees are just all of a sudden starting to change color here. So one of my favorite times of year. So today we're going to take another look at this Country Flowers bundle. I'm pretty sure I made a project with this a while back, but I saw a really fun idea with a really neat flap fold that we're going to try today. And we're going to switch it up just a teeny bit. And if you're looking for it, it is here on page 50 of the annual catalog. It's part of the Country Woods collection. So part of it is, of course, this Country Birdhouse, but we are focusing today on this Country Flowers stamp set and dies. And also we are going to use this embossing folder, which is called Dashing Designs. So it looks like this, really kind of a neat folder. So we're going to incorporate that into our project. And we're also going to use some designer paper from a different suite. So I will show you that when we get to it. So this is the stamp set and dies. So you get a lot of different dies. There's florals and greenery and different, you've got pails and teapots and stools and different things and a bunch of different stamps. So a really, really versatile set. And the designer paper we're going to use is from the Wildly Flowering suite. And so this is the stamp set, Wildflower Designs. And this is some of the designer paper that goes with that suite. So we're going to incorporate this paper into our project. And I just wanted to show it to you because it has a lot of the in colors that were launched last year, the Wild Wheat and the Moody Mauve and all of those. So this is one pattern, this really pretty Misty Moonlight with the white, and this one is gorgeous. And here you have some of that Moody Mauve. And again, but this has a touch of the boho blue in here too. So you got a little bit of a blue accent. This has got some crumb cake in the background, very beautiful and a little more neutral. And then our wild wheat pattern, which is also lovely. And then on the back here, you've got almost like a brocade look with the Moody Mauve. And then you have some more of the Misty Moonlight here. And some more of the wild wheat. Some more of the Moody Mauve, some more Misty Moonlight, just like that first pattern. And then you have this, which is more of a smoky slate or gray granite or something like that. I don't have the color palette right in front of me, but really, really beautiful paper. Okay, so today's card was inspired by, let me just find her name so I get it right, Rachel Brumley from stampinwithrachel.com. She's in Arkansas, down in the southern states, and she actually got this idea from her upline, and I'm sorry I don't know her upline, her name, but this is similar to what she had done with the color palette. So I just wanted to show you her design, and we're going to stick very close to the design, but we're going to switch up the colors a little bit, and I switched up the greeting a little bit. And some of the measurements are a little bit different too. Okay, so we are going to do ours in a Misty Moonlight palette. So I've done pre-cut a lot of pieces here. So we'll get to that. Now, the difference for me from Rachel's design was she did her base a little bit different. So yeah, when you open it up, you're going to have a little spot there to write your greeting. And this is that embossing folder that I mentioned that we were using. So what Rachel did was she cut her base, this Moody Mauve, at her usual, or our usual 8.5 by 5.5, folded it in half, And then pretend this is the front flap. She actually put it, I'm assuming, in her paper trimmer and cut down, I think, about 2.5 inches and then across. Now that really works well, but for me, sometimes I have a bit of an issue with getting it just the right spot with not cutting too far or not cutting far enough, and then just getting it to line up properly. So what works easier for me and will pretty much result in the same look is I cut my base at, let me just measure this here, 5.5 by 4.25, so the usual. And then I cut another piece, this is Misty Moonlight, at 4.75 by 2.5. And then I scored it at 1/2 inch. Okay, so I'm gonna fold that score line. And then you can put some tear and tape, or I'm just gonna use regular adhesive for today. I think that should probably still hold. It's pretty strong, our Stamp and Seal. And then I'm going to put this along the bottom edge here. I'm going to do it sort of upside down so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to line up this score line right along the edge. Okay, so let's see if I can see that here. So just kind of press that down, and it gives you the same flap. Okay, it's just I'm not having the worry of cutting through too far, and this is going to get covered anyway. Okay, so that is my take on it. You can do whichever you prefer. All right, so this is our card base, and then on the inside we are going to put a piece of basic white, and I will post these measurements. And this was embossed with that what is it called? Dashing Designs embossing folder. It's a 3D folder, so really kind of fun. So we're going to put this on the inside. And let's just try to line that up a little bit here. Okay, so there's our Dashing Designs. And then we're going to decorate this front flap. So again, I have a piece of basic white and then a piece of that wildflower. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad with names today. Wildly Flowering. I know it had wild and flower in the name, but this is the Misty Moonlight piece there. Now on the back, yeah, this is just the solid, but if you wanted to do that, you could. But I'm just going to use this Misty Moonlight. And we're going to put that on our white. Okay, like so. And then we'll put the white on top of this flap. Make sure your flowers are going the right direction. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, so this will be our front flap, like so. All right, so then we have to mount our flowers. And so we're going to put them on a circle. So these dies are from the Spotlight on Nature dies. I believe that's what they are. Let me just double check that I'm getting it right. Yes, Spotlight on Nature. And I cut out the die first, and then again, I ran it through the Dashing Designs embossing folder. Okay, so this is going to be on the front of our card. But before I put it down, I'm going to add all of our florals. Okay, so for that, I pre-did those. So we have 3 pieces from the dies, from the Country Flowers. So I stamped all of these 2, in the Tuxedo Black, and then I used blends to color them. So for this one, I used the light dark Misty Moonlight, the light dark Wild Wheat, and the light dark Mossy Meadow, and this is the light and dark Smoky Slate. Cut those out with our die, and these leaf images are a die as well, and that's just cut from Mossy Meadow. Okay. And then I also had, and where did I put it? Oh, I have to cut it still. I forgot. We're going to cut a teapot. So that is the piece I forgot. So let me just do that quickly. I think because I had 2 different color designs going on, and then I just forgot that one piece. So give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. So I cut out the teapot from the same designer paper. Now you don't have to cut it from designer paper. You could just cut it from solid Misty Moonlight cardstock or a different cardstock. You could pull the wild wheat if you wanted that. But I thought let's do something a little bit different, and we'll use that designer paper. Okay, so I'm going to start with putting my pail on. And yes, you guessed right, I am using dimensionals. And like Rachel said on her video when I was watching briefly, she said, yes, what would we do without dimensionals? And that is absolutely right. I agree. Okay, so let's put this maybe a little bit here. And then I am going to attach this flower bouquet. And this is so fun because you can just use whatever designer paper you have and just pull out colors to color your florals and your other, you know, greeneries or whatever you're using. And they all look so fun and different. Okay, so let's put our florals on top of our pail. Okay, like so. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals on our teapot. We're going to tuck that under a little bit. So depending where you put your dimensionals on your pail, you might have to lift that up a bit. Okay, I'm just going to sneak this under a little, maybe down a bit. I'm not too worried if it sticks over because I think we still have some room. Yes, we do. Or if you don't want to put it under, you could put it on top. So why don't we do that? We can do that, right? We can do that for something different. Ha! There you go. Put it on the front instead of in the back. Why hide such a beautiful teapot? There we go. Okay, and then our greenery, I am going to use my mini dimensionals just to sort of, you know, you don't need a lot, but just to sort of put them in the larger areas here to tack this down. If you wanted, you could definitely just cut this out with an adhesive sheet on the back. I'm surprised I didn't do that because typically I do. But we'll just use these minis and it'll do just as great a job. Okay, so let's get this backer off. Oops. Okay, so then we will put our greenery just on top of the teapot. You can tuck some of the greenery under. I just want to cover this edge here, like so maybe. Yeah, so how's that? That's not too bad, right? You still see the teapot? Okay, I had that song going through my head. I shouldn't even say it because then you will have it going through your head. You know, when we're all little, I'm a little teapot, bum, bum. You know which one I mean. Okay, now you've got that stuck in your head for the rest of the day. You're welcome. All right, so now we have to put our circle on the inside and try to cover it with this piece, which I have not put together yet. This is another larger die from the Spotlight on Nature. So let's put that together first, and then we will try to assemble these so they cover each other up. First, I thought I forgot to cut out this blue circle too, but I didn't, so that's good. Oh my gosh, one of those mornings, I guess. Okay. It's not quite even on there, is it? I want it even. My lighting isn't so great in here, so I should have turned a lamp on, I guess, but that's okay. I didn't want any shadows or things happening. So there we go. So the blue just kind of makes that all pop. Now, the thing is, this circle is smaller, of course, than the blue. So we have some leeway when trying to cover this up. And I also have a greeting. So on this one, I made this happy birthday. This one, I used sending happy thoughts. And that, if you're wondering, is from the Wildflower Designs, which matches our designer paper that we're using. So it's got a couple of greetings in there. And this greeting was actually from the Simply Said stamp set. It's not from the Country Flowers one. There are some good ones, though. If you, best friend ever with heartfelt sympathy, you can make a sympathy card, sending love, so lucky to know you. So there are some good stamps in there, but I'm just going to do sending happy thoughts. So I think I will actually put this down first, so that will help me with my positioning of the circle. Okay, so then if this one even goes there, we've got some room with this one. Okay, so let's try to sort of center this. Well, not center, but leave some space. Now, if you wanted, you could always stamp a greeting on here. You could stamp some florals around the edge. I'm just going to leave it because I just want to write my little message here. Okay, and then this we can put on, and that will cover our circle. But I am going to pop it with dimensionals, but I'm going to put my dimensionals here. You don't want to put them on the top because then, of course, it will get stuck. And you will not be able to open the card, or your recipient will not be able to open the card. So I'm just going to put like 4. Might be a little overkill, but that's okay. I'd rather be secure. And then you're just going to line this up straight as you can, sort of center between the sides. And give yourself a little bit of leeway on top of this greeting. And then it should open, and you've covered that circle that's on the inside. You could even put this down with some tear and tape, because I know sometimes putting this down, cardstock down on an embossed image, sometimes it doesn't always adhere as quick, as well as we'd like, or liquid glue would also be a good option too. Okay, so there we have our blue and our Moody Mauve. Which one do you prefer? I like them both. I have a girlfriend that has a birthday coming up who's very partial to purples, and this is kind of leaning towards that family for me. So I think this is going to be going in the mail. But I also like the blue one and that designer paper, so it's awesome. So I hope you enjoyed that project today, and we will see you next week. Have a great week, everyone. Bye for now.